Hello, this is the video streaming assignment for the course Computer Networks. We are group WG15. The group members are Vatsal, Darshan, Krupal and Harsh. Now, let us begin with the demonstration video for a video streaming service using RTSP and RTP protocols. This is the command to establish the server. This is the command to launch the client.
Setup button is used to establish the connection between server and the client, while play button is used to play the video. These are the sequence numbers being generated, the frame numbers which are displayed on the screen. Pause button can be used to pause the window, and the tear down button will close the window of the RTP client.
Let us now understand the protocols underlying the transmission. RTSP. RTSP is an application layer protocol that transmits multimedia data in real time. TCP is used to establish the connection between client and server, and then UDP is used for sending the data over the channel. RTP. RTP is used to handle traffic on the channel. It tries to minimize the packet loss. The video is in mJPEG format, which stores the video as a collection of JPEG frames and sends them one by one. The image frames are encoded before sending over the connection at the server and decoded at the client side. Understanding the file system. The client and client launcher files makes the front end client and the interface used to send the RTSP commands like play, pause, etc. The function of the actions are implemented here. The server and server worker files respond to the client's request, and on play command encodes the video frame by frame and sends it to the client. The JPEG images are converted into UTF-8 format by encoding and sent over the channel, not as multimedia file but as the UTF-8 file. RTP packet class decodes the encoded data at the client side. It contains all the necessary headers and booting functions. Headers are important for any data transfer protocol. It was given as the stub code. All the header information obtained from the RTSP packet are decomposed into parts as required, and the data is collected into respective variables. Payload is the actual data that is to be transmitted. First, a setup request is sent to the server. It will give information about the port and socket to which the data is supposed to be transmitted. Also, it contains a RTSP header that gives a session ID for the RTSP transmission. It is a persistent connection established until the teardown request is not sent. Play and pause needs the session ID to be transmitted so as to identify the port and stream. Understanding some important functions. Server.py. This is the function call from the terminal to set up the server. Port 1025 is assigned to the server. It receives the client info and then the server worker.py is called. Receive RTSP request function. It is in the listen mode to get the connection request from the client. Process RTSP request. It performs the functions that are requested by the client by starting and stopping the stream. Make RTP function. This might be one of the most important functions. It packetizes the data in RTP. This is the function call from the terminal. Client function is called from here. Let's go to the client side of the socket based programming. Here, as we write this command into the command prompt, the local host is given as the server address 1025 is given as the server port and 5008 is given as the RTP port. In client.py file, here we can see that the variety of constants are initialized, and so also in the init function many variables are initialized. To create the GUI window, we need to create the setup button, start, pause and teardown button, which are created from these following functions. Setup movie. This function displays that if the state is equal to the initial state, then we set up the button. Exit client function. We can see that here, after checking the teardown button values, we call the destroy function. Pause movie function. It states that if the state is equal to playing, then only we can pause play movie function. It puts an prior check that only if the state is ready, then only we can play the video. Listen RTP function. This function always keeps on looking for the RTP packets coming from the server until it is stopped. If any packet is late, then it is discarded by the function. Write frame function. It converts the received file into an image or a JPEG file and then displayed on the screen. Connect to server function is used to establish the RTSP session. Receive RTS reply function. It receives the RTSP packet from the server and decodes it for the client. Parse RTS reply function. It passes the received image and updates the state like play, pause, etc. Videostream.py. This function collects all the information about the video frames like frame length and frame number. Thank you.